a world where the sky was once a god, where thunder meant a king was angry, and where the ruler of the universe once swallowed his own children. Greek mythology is filled with stories like this. Some are dramatic, some are mysterious, and some are simply very strange. But tonight we will explore this ancient world slowly and calmly, like walking through a quiet museum after everyone has gone home.
So settle in.
Let your shoulders relax, and let your breathing become slow and steady. Because tonight, we are telling the entire story of Greek mythology. Long before the first cities appeared, before kings, before temples, the ancient Greeks believed the universe began with something called chaos. Chaos was not a god. It was more like an endless emptiness. Imagine a vast darkness with no sky, no land, and no ocean. Just quiet space stretching forever.
But slowly, something began to change.
From this darkness, the first being appeared. Her name was Gaia. Gaia was the earth itself.
Solid.
Ancient. Endlessly patient. Mountains would one day rise from her back. Forests would grow across her skin. But Gaia did not remain alone for long. Soon another powerful being appeared. His name was Uranus. Uranus became the sky. Every night, he stretched across Gaia like a great blue blanket filled with stars. Together, Earth and sky created many children. These children were enormous, powerful beings known as the Titans. The Titans ruled the early universe long before the famous gods of Olympus existed. Among them was one Titan who would change everything. His name was Cronus. Cronus was strong and ambitious, but he also lived with a constant fear, because his father Uranus had once ruled the universe before him, and Cronus had taken that power away. So Cronus worried that one day his own children might do the same, and because of that fear, Cronus made a terrible decision. Each time one of his children was born, he swallowed them, one by one. His wife Rhea watched this happen again and again. First came Hestia, then Demeter, then Hera, then Hades, then Poseidon, and each time, Cronus swallowed the child whole. But when their next baby was born, Rhea decided she had had enough. When the child arrived, she secretly wrapped a stone in a blanket. Then she handed the stone to Cronus. Cronus swallowed it without looking, but the real baby had already been hidden away. That baby's name was Zeus, and he would grow up to become the most powerful god in Greek mythology. Zeus was raised far away on a quiet island called Crete, hidden in caves and protected by loyal guardians. As he grew older, Zeus learned the truth about his family. His brothers and sisters were trapped inside his father, and Zeus decided it was time to change that. When Zeus finally returned to confront Cronus, he did not attack right away. Instead, he used a clever trick. Zeus gave Cronus a powerful potion. The potion had an unusual effect. Cronus began to cough, then cough again,
And again.
until something incredible happened. One by one, Zeus's brothers and sisters came back out. First Poseidon, then Hades, then Hera, then Demeter, then Hestia. After many years trapped inside Cronus, they were finally free. But the story was far from over, because the Titans still ruled the world, and they were not going to give up their power easily. What followed was one of the greatest battles in all of mythology, the war between the Titans and the younger gods. The battle lasted 10 long years. Thunder shook the sky, mountains cracked and split apart, the oceans crashed against the land with unstoppable force. Zeus proved to be a powerful leader. He hurled lightning across the sky. Poseidon controlled the raging seas. And deep below the earth, Hades commanded the dark shadows of the underworld. Finally, after a long and violent struggle, the younger gods won. The Titans were defeated. Many were locked away deep beneath the earth. And a new group of gods rose to power. These were the Olympians. They lived high above the world on a mountain called Mount Olympus. If you had stood in ancient Greece and looked toward the clouds, you might have imagined the gods living there. Zeus sat upon a golden throne, holding thunder in his hands. Beside him stood Hera, the queen of the gods. Far out across the endless oceans, Poseidon walked through storms and waves. And deep beneath the earth, Hades ruled a silent kingdom of shadows. The gods were powerful, but they were also very human in their behavior. They argued. They fell in love. They became jealous. And sometimes they caused trouble for the humans below. One peaceful story explains something we experience every year: the changing of the seasons. Demeter was the goddess of agriculture and growing plants. Her daughter Persephone was the light of her life. But one day Persephone disappeared. She had been taken by Hades and brought to the underworld. Demeter searched everywhere for her daughter.
Across mountains.
Across fields. Across forests. And while she searched, the crops stopped growing. Trees lost their leaves. The world slowly became cold and empty. Eventually, a deal was made. Persephone would spend part of the year with Hades in the underworld, and part of the year back with her mother. When Persephone returned to the surface, Demeter became joyful again. Flowers bloomed.
Crops grew.
The world became warm and full of life. But when Persephone returned to the underworld, Demeter's sadness returned, and winter began. Over time, the stories of the gods slowly blended with stories of heroes. These heroes were not fully gods, but they were not ordinary humans either. Some were brave, some were clever, and some were simply very strong. One famous hero was Heracles, known for his incredible strength. Another was Perseus, who defeated the terrifying monster Medusa. And then there was Odysseus, the clever traveler who spent 10 long years trying to return home after a great war. These stories were told around fires, in temples, and in quiet homes across ancient Greece. Over thousands of years, the myths slowly became legends, and the legends became history. But even today, the old gods have not completely disappeared. Their names still live in our language. Their stories still appear in books and movies. And the ancient mountain of Olympus still rises quietly above the clouds in Greece. If you imagine it now, you might picture the great halls of the gods glowing softly under the stars. Zeus watching the sky, Poseidon wandering the oceans, and somewhere far below, the quiet kingdom of Hades. The world of Greek mythology was strange, beautiful, and sometimes very mysterious. But like all old stories, it slowly fades into the distance, leaving only whispers behind. And tonight, those whispers can gently fade away as you rest. The mountains grow quiet, the sea becomes calm, and the ancient gods slowly drift into silence. And now, it is time to sleep.